tell us about your new venture, which is, is it called something particular?
Well, no, it's just progressing. I mean, I've got 25 years experience as an independent midwife, and women started coming to see me on a sessional basis, either in my own home or in their homes, to talk about their previous birth experience, which they need more information on. So I go through it with their notes and look at options for what they want is options for their current labour and birth, and I can give them information, because what women want is to be informed, and then they can make a choice. I help them with that.
So most of the women that you see, are they within the NHS system?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've looked after one or two women who have worked in my own home and worked in their home with their partner, and then they've had a session on their own with me, and they go forward and actually have the birth they want. It's proved to be really useful.
Yeah. And is it just people who've already had a baby before, or will you see somebody who's pregnant for the first time and is having issues that they're not?
I'd see anyone.
Okay.
In their first pregnancy as well, if they find themselves being a bit controlled and want more information. And I'm in a position to give information. I haven't got to work within protocols and guidelines, but having said that, I do work within research. I'm very well researched midwife.
Yeah, okay. So would you do checks at the time as well, or is it just a verbal consultation?
It's a verbal thing, but also for instance, I saw someone this week and we listened to the baby's heart and I felt the position of the baby, and it gave her enormous confidence just for me to do that.
Yeah, because sometimes, I know from speaking to women in here that they have literally a few minutes, a couple of minutes or 5 minutes to have a check, to have their checkup, but it just doesn't sometimes give them that reassurance that they need that everything's okay. And
I'm very clear when I'm feeling a baby, the position it's in, and just to have that clarity and clear information I find really helpful.
So what kind of issues do you find women are coming to you with? I mean, because one of the things that I found is that we get a lot of women who come in and they're kind of pushed down this route of intervention quite quickly when, they may not have necessarily needed to do that. So is it things like baby in position of baby, diabetes, all these kinds of issues that...
The main thing that women come in with, and this has been going on for 25 years with me, when women have come for me to look after them for their second birth, is they're not happy about decisions that were made with their first labour and birth, and they want to know the truth. Could it have been done another way? Now, I can't necessarily give them the truth, but I can look at the notes and say, well, that could have been an option, that was an option, or it was a fair decision, and help them to come to terms with whatever it is, and help prepare them for the next birth and labour in a more relaxed way, so that they're actually empowered.
And what about sort of support in labour? Is that something you... Because you're an independent midwife as well, aren't you? So
obviously, I book women for antenatal care, the birth and postnatal care, but I'm not prepared to be on call for women who I've just seen on a sessional basis. That is not good continuity of care. Obviously, if they've got a question between my session and their labour, I'll talk to them on the phone, but otherwise they're under the care of the community midwives.
Okay. And you were talking about this after birth sort of debrief thing that you do. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Well, sometimes women have, for instance, a labour and birth which, rightly or wrongly, there was a lot of intervention. They might have had a cesarean section, and they come out of hospital feeling, a live baby, everything's fine, and then they go into another pregnancy and actually sometimes feel quite angry or disconcerted about what's happened. So it tends to be at the beginning of the next pregnancy they feel they want to talk about it. Now, having said that, some women do, within 2 or 3 months of the birth, want to talk about it, and now I'm making this service more available, they might have the opportunity to come and talk with me.
So if that is the case, if it's 2 or 3 months, or even by the time they have the second or third babies, what about their notes for that pregnancy, and can you get them, or can they get them?
I always advise them to get the notes, and they can get them. They have a legal right to have the notes. I mean, they might have to pay £10 for photocopy, but they can get hold of them.
So how do they go about that?
They get hold of medical records at the hospital where they gave birth.
Okay, and that's pretty simple
and that's never been a problem.
Okay, cool, because that might be something that people just might want to have, because they're taken away from you quite quickly, aren't they, afterwards?
Yes, and it's really important that I do look at the notes so I can see the rationale and decisions that were made. That is critical, and that's why it needs a midwife with experience to see why decisions were made and help explain things.
Brilliant, okay. Thank you. So if people want to get hold of you, we'll put your details on our website and your
Give
phone
me a
number
ring.
and thing if you ring. Okay.
And leave a
fantastic.
message on my answer phone.
Okay.
Thanks, Sue. Thank you.
Great.